I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, March the 2nd. And with March, spring fever has arrived, which means big demand and higher prices on your lightweight calves as suddenly we realize that spring is right around the corner, and so will green grass and places to turn those cattle out. But also backing off of your big yearling feeders that have to go right on to feed, and just looking down the road at your summer months for the fat market. There's a big disparity in what they're bringing right now and what they're quoted to bring as far as the board goes, which is just barely over $1. So they're really backing off of these big cattle that are going right on to feed at the same time. But you look at your board on Wednesday there, feeder cattle contracts took back most of what they gained on Tuesday, but still higher for the week. Live cattle futures, your April contract was down just a smidge, but your others were up a little and continued to see some gains. And we did have fat cattle trade on Wednesday. Of course, the Fed Cattle Exchange, and then we can't do anything before that, even though they didn't have too many on there. 4,000, sold about half of them or so. The best prices there on the Southern Plains cattle, 125 to 125 and a half. So that pretty much assured the market was going to be steady. And before the day was over in the afternoon, we started trading cattle out in the country, or direct feedlot trade there in the Southern Plains, steady at 125, which is not bad at all. That's better than what we thought it would have been a month or two ago. If you'd have said here starting March we'd be all the way up at $1.25, everybody would have been real happy with that. Your Northern Plains markets had a little spread in them between 124 and 126. Mostly your eastern markets were 124, and you get out west there and they were able to get a little bit more money, but that's steady to $1 higher. Your box beef cutout values are on the positive side, been making big gains all week here, continued that on Wednesday. Your slaughter is running at a good pace, so they're keeping those change speeds going, which is just good for everything. You got to have that, which trickles all the way down into your calf market. But real-time index on Beef Market Central there that runs a tally on your 800-pound steers, just like the CME feeder cattle index, down $1.35 with the addition of Wednesday sales. But you know, we talked about how those bigger cattle are just lower, but just under 126 on your real-time index there. Look at some markets. Boy, Reno, your OKC West there. This week they decided to split up their schedule there. They always sell cows on Monday, but they sold calves and stockers on Tuesday, and big feeding cattle on Wednesday there. People thought it might give a hiccup on the run. Combined for the sale, what would have been a normally this or Wednesday sale, had 14,000 cattle in El Reno there. That's very impressive. Over 3,000 calves on Tuesday, over 10,000 feeders on Wednesday there. Your big feeders were called steady to $2 lower, and that pretty much goes along with what we've seen so far this week south of I-70. Now north of I-70 in the Northern Plains, you're seeing kind of steady to $1 or $2 higher up there, but down the Southern Plains it's been just a pinch weaker all week long. But we still had some pretty decent quotes out of El Reno. Look there late in the evening there at 8:40 in the evening, 121 steers out of El Reno weighed 801 pounds at that magic 130. So still being able to get 130, so it's not too awful bad. They did quote some 9-weight cattle, actually a bit higher there. Look at a big string of 9-weights out of El Reno. 218 head of them weighed 918 pounds at $1.25. That's higher than that 130 in comparison there, and that happened at 6:30 in the evening there. But you look at some calf quotes, and like we talked, it's spring fever and your calves are getting high. No place has sold calves like Torrington, Wyoming, and man, they're just far enough west. They're able to take care of the moisture we've seen in the west that we haven't seen for quite some time, and your normal demand for calves, and they're getting it from both sides there. That a half a load of 519-pound steers just after 4 o'clock bring 181.50. Talking about out west, let's look at a western market there. Your western slope cattleman's livestock market there in Loma, Colorado, which you can throw a rock to Utah. So it's way out there. They always sell their big feeding cattle at least the freight back of what the market is, and that's just, you got to go through those mountains or over them somehow to get to a feedlot or way out west. So they're always a little bit back on the big feeder cattle, but you're seeing that demand on some stocker type cattle from that moisture that they've enjoyed this winter, and really looking for the best promise of grass that they've had for years out there. But 68 steers weighed 643 in Loma, Colorado at 143.50, and that's pushing just about what they'll bring anywhere. That's your feeder flash for Thursday.